There can be no doubt or argument that information and communication technologies have had a positive effect on education, educational practices, and assessment methods, especially in the last few years. There has been an explosion of technology and applications aimed at teaching and learning. At work, too, the technology age has made huge advances and continues to do so, and probably will keep doing so for at least the foreseeable future. The speed at which we can now get things done is incredible. We can type out or dictate a letter faster than we can write it by hand. We can send and receive communications from great distances at faster and faster speeds. Our daily lives are made easier and run more smoothly than ever before. But are we losing something which is uniquely human in the process? The one thing which sets humankind apart from the animal kingdom is the fact that we have learned to use our hands in ways that no other species can. We use our hands to manipulate and carry and move tools, and we use tools to mould and alter the shape and function of objects and materials. From a very early age, we are taught how to use our hands to hold and to use tools such as spoons and cups, knives and forks, and later how to write. Our manual dexterity is incredibly important for our survival, but more and more we are leaving behind the skills we acquire and limiting our movement to the keyboard and the touchscreen. Childhood was once filled up with board games which required various manual skills: building, banging, moving, shaking, now all relegated to the smart screen. What does that mean for us? Now that we are no longer in need of our hands, what do you think will happen? All of the children born now are digital natives. They have been born into a world where we are almost dependent upon technology. As we become more and more involved with technology, we tend to use our hands for other things less and less. Children and adults are no longer writing as much as we once did, and they are no longer engaged in as many physical games. Dysgraphia is a neurological disorder which affects the proper forming of letters when handwriting. Using our hands for writing or any other absorbing activity increases brain activity, it hones our fine motor skills, and good handwriting can predict a child's academic success. Not only that, but refining fine motor skills builds motor pathways in the brain. When something becomes automatic or learned, there is almost a groove in the pathways. So how can we harness the technology to address this? Let's take a look at the Smart Pen. While there are a great number of smart pens on the market right now, the Smart Pen technology is still in its infancy. An environmental study carried out across many of the known existing smart pens reveals many similarities between them. Some of them remember for people, some of them read, and others organise and file for their user. Some even record voices. Most of them are accompanied by an app of some kind, and some come with special pressured sensitive pads or specialised paper. A relatively new development in smart pen technology is the creation of the insulin pen, which can monitor and issue insulin to diabetics. The most common software features you will find in a smart pen are Bluetooth, pressure pads, scanners, flash memory, photocell, light detector, and accelerometers. There is a lot of room for improvement. I want to create a smart pen which may help to improve manual dexterity. I want it to be compatible with normal paper and not just specialised pads or paper. Its primary use is not to regurgitate notes though. Its primary use is to measure hand and finger movement. In my mind's eye it looks like this: a conductor's baton, except with points for pressure along the front and back. A writing pen here and technology housed in here. Is it doable? Absolutely. The technology already exists. The job of this item is to communicate with its mobile application where the hands are, where each finger is, and what way they are moving. So the app can instruct the user, and the pen will tell the app if the instructions are being carried out correctly. An accelerometer is the little piece of software in your phone which knows which way up your screen is. Accelerometers are used in many smart pens to judge the direction of pen movements and the pressure on the nib. It can send this information to be deciphered either into heavier strokes or simple text. But it also does a lot more than that. It is an instrument for detecting movement, acceleration, and vibration. This means that the pen can tell if you're holding it in your left or your right hand. It knows if it is the right way up or upside down. It knows if it is being tapped or tilted or shook. It can communicate with the app through Bluetooth and work together with almost any device. Add pressure-sensitive pads along the side for finger holding, and you have the beginnings of an interesting list of possibilities. So let's look at a few of those possibilities. I want my child to take more interest in his handwriting, so I get him this pen to use. As he writes, the pen counts his strokes. It makes a little sound or flashes a little light every time he makes 100 strokes. If he reaches 1,000 strokes, it will make a different sound. Then when he gets home, the Bluetooth software on the pen communicates with the app on the phone, which congratulates him and tells him how many strokes he has made, and it rewards him with currency, which he can use within the app. There are games built into his app which he can play using his pen, all designed to make as much use of his manual skills as possible. I am a student surgeon. I need to get my hands as steady as possible. I have this pen and I use it to practice different holds and motions. Or, I am a middle-aged person and my hands are becoming stiff. I use it to exercise my fingers. So what kind of games and exercises are there? Well, if we take games which exist that are purely for improving manual dexterity and hand-eye coordination, is it possible to digitize them? Let's take this game for example. It's called Whack-A-Mole. The moles pop up at random and you have to bash them back down again. It's a great game for wrist action and hand-eye coordination. It can be played with both hands. To digitize, you would simply code the app to make something like perhaps bacteria appear on the screen at random to be tapped by the player with the pen. Steady hand games can be replicated fairly easily using this pairing of the app and the pen too. You just rewrite the script. So now instead of getting wire across a frame, you might be guiding a boat down the river. Want to learn a musical instrument, make your fingers more nimble? No problem, use the pressure pads along the pen. As the pen can be used independently of the app, so too can the app be used independently of the pen. So who are the people who are most likely to benefit from a device such as this? Well, anyone really who wishes to improve their manual dexterity, range of movement, or hand-eye coordination. People who have suffered injury to their hands or wrists could benefit from the exercises given within the pen and app pairing. People who are in training or studying to become surgeons, people who wish to encourage their children towards greater manual dexterity and handwriting skills, people with arthritis or fibromyalgia who need to keep their joints loosened, musicians and artists who want to develop fine motor skills. So there are a broad number of potential users for a tool such as this. The games and activities which are centred around expanding the range of movement and perhaps even strengthen the wrists, fingers and thumbs should help to improve either the work produced by or the day-to-day living of the user. This is a brand new tool and it is very much still in its development stages. There still needs to be a great deal more research and development carried out before there are any concrete answers to any of the questions that are posed by this device. The possibilities of getting repetitive strain injury must be explored, especially in the case of people who may want to use the pen for therapeutic or recovery reasons. And research needs to be carried out to find out if it even is effective and can it deliver to its potential. It is worth looking into the possibilities that a device such as this one may present. If it does work to its full potential, it will be a great addition. It may pave the way for development of similar, better tools, the uses of which have not even been discovered yet.